Hi friends, I am Anupam Sharma and today we are doing executive. Executive is part of government organs. There are three organs of the government: legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature frames policies, executive implements them and judiciary is for law and order. Our Prime Minister is head executive of government and our President is head executive of state. So please remember, our Prime Minister is head executive of government and our President is head executive of state, that is our country. What does executive mean? Executive means a body of persons that look after the implementation of rules and regulations. For example, there is a big company, say Haldiram, and it has CEO, Chief Executive Officer. He frames main laws or policies and guidelines. Then people working under him, also called executive, they execute his orders or rules or policies. And this person, CEO, supervises their work and coordinates their work. In a similar manner, in school, principal is head executive and teachers under him or her and ministerial staff, they work under him. So principal makes or frames main policies, and teachers and ministerial staff implements those rules and regulations. Now, in a similar manner, the organ of the government that looks after the implementation of laws is called executive. E- Executive of government. Again, executive government is the organ of the government that looks after the implementation of laws is called executive. Legislature frames laws and policies, and executive implements them. Principal functions of executive: responsible for implementation of laws and policies adopted by legislature. As I told you earlier, legislature forms policies and executive implements them. And framing of policies. And executive includes president, prime minister, council of ministers. They are called political executives. Why they are called political executives? Because they are elected for 5 years. They are not permanent. They work till they are in power. But civil servants also form executive, but they are permanent, recruited through UPSC and work till they are retired. Now, types of executive in the world. There are three types: collective leadership, in which we have parliamentary system, semi-parliamentary system, and individual leadership, presidential form of government. First, we will talk of parliamentary system. In parliamentary system, PM is leader of majority party and president appoints leader of majority party as prime minister. Prime minister is leader of majority party and is accountable to legislature. Now, prime minister is also member of parliament and he gets support from his MPs. So legislature controls executive. How? Like if um, Prime Minister loses support of his MPs, in that case, he will lose majority and will have to resign and government will fall. So this way, executive and legislature control each other. Now, ceremonial executive. We'll talk of this, where there is head is monarch, say king or queen. In that case, this is called constitutional monarchy, and where head of state is president, that is called parliamentary republic like in India, and constitutional monarchy is in UK and Japan. They are called ceremonial heads because they do not exercise much power. In India, UK, and all these countries, Prime Minister is very powerful. Then we come to semi-parliamentary system. In this system, President is head of state, Prime Minister is head of government, PM and his council is responsible to legislature. This kind of system is in France, Russia, and Sri Lanka. Now, in these type of parliamentary system, president is also elected by the people of country, and prime minister is also elected by people of the country. Now, in this case, president is little more powerful, and if they can be from the same party or from different party. Again, president and prime minister can be of the same party and can be of different party. If they are of the same party, there is no problem, but if they are of different parties, then there are frictions and fights. So in these type of system, president can remove prime minister and council of ministers like in Sri Lanka. But in France, prime minister cannot remove president cannot remove prime minister or council of ministers. In this case, they share power. Like president will have say foreign affairs, and prime minister and his council of ministers may have other important portfolios. And now individual leadership. This is also called presidential form of government. It is in America. President is head of state and government both. He is very much powerful. He is directly elected by the people, and he is not accountable to legislature. If legislature passes laws, he is not bound to sign them. He sometimes uses veto power or pocket veto power, etc. He is the most important person of government. Now we'll take case study of Sri Lanka. Semi-presidential executive in Sri Lanka, Amendment 1978. President here is elected for 6 years. In India, President is elected for 5 years. He appoints Prime Minister of majority party. He can be of the same party or different party. Why? Because Prime Minister and President both are elected by the people of the country. So they can be of the same party or they can be of the different party. If they are of the same party, there is no problem, they work together. But if they are of different party, then there are frequent fights and frictions. So president has to appoint leader of majority party. The president of Sri Lanka is both head of state and head of the government. He is more powerful than prime minister of that country, holding significant powers including appointing ministers, leader of armed forces, and representing the country internationally. So he is very powerful actually, and prime minister is not that powerful. Prime Minister assists President and leads the cabinet. The Prime Minister is responsible for coordinating government's activities and can influence legislative agendas. Cabinet of Ministers, comprising ministers appointed by the President, the cabinet is responsible for implementing government policies and making decisions on national issues. So, here in Sri Lanka, President is more powerful because president has power to remove prime minister and ministers. So this is power of president. President can be removed by resolution in the parliament by two-thirds of the total number of members of parliament. And if resolution is passed by say 50% of members, then speaker has power to take the case to Supreme Court and president can be removed.